Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio? Is the audio great? Thank you very much. This is Marilyn, and it is noon on January the 5th. This is a Tuesday, and this is the noon edition of Welcome to My World. So I thought I'd just take a second and look over these markets with everybody. Yesterday at this time, these markets had sure moved quite a bit more than they did today. And this sometimes is exactly what follows a day with a tremendous amount of movement. It will it'll back off a little bit and uh, kind of settle down in some ways. So it starts to get very boring. And today is kind of one of those days. There has been a really good opportunity if you're trading the C's on these indices. They've put up some nice trades, but then TF, I noticed for the last, I don't know, quite a while, maybe hour or a little more, has been in a real choppy kind of a thing. If anybody was interested in trading bonds made a real nice trend. Started about 8:30 this morning, and it was just excellent and plain as day. Very, very good trade. The dollar has trended up. It looks like for the last hour or so, it started to back off a little bit, and bonds look a little bit stronger than they did this morning. So anyway, they made their run. We'll see if they want to turn around and keep going back down. People who watch the 6C, the Canadian dollar futures contract, after this Canadian news that came out this morning, that thing started in a nice downward trend. That was a good place to go trade hunting, because that's kind of what this is. I have looked at my little calendar here, and I know that on a number of videos, Daryl has talked about how every successful trader he knows keeps a journal. And if you're not doing that, I really urge you to get a notebook. I mean, some people like to do it electronically, but there is something that connects between your brain and your hand when you hand write some of this stuff. And I have discovered that putting my journal in a notebook in the form of a shopping list, given a perfect day. And how many perfect days are you going to get? Probably not that many. I'm certainly not holding my breath till I have a perfect day every day. That's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. But it's a little bit like getting in a car in California and telling somebody you're going to drive to New York, and they say, okay, well, which direction are you going? And you say, well, I don't know, I'm just going to try to drive around until I find it. And then they say, well, how will you know when you get there? And then you just say, oh, well, I'll know New York when I see it. And so I'm just going to drive around until I eventually stumble onto it. There's a whole lot better way to get from California to New York. So what I'm suggesting to you is that you lay out in your trading journal what a perfect day looks like, what markets you really would love to trade if they gave you the trades you wanted every day, so that you have that in front of you every day when you start. And you, for instance, if you like trading YM, then what are you looking for? Are you looking for 2 trades or 3 trades a day on YM? And if YM doesn't give you anything, what's your next favorite market? Are you going to go to, I don't know, NQ or bonds or the dollar? The dollar can trend very well when it trends. But lay out what a perfect trading day looks like to you, how many trades in what markets, just in case they present themselves, because what happens is you start getting distracted by watching this over here, and then somebody says, oh, they had a great trade on something over here, and you think, well, gee, I've never traded that, so you start looking at that, and then off to the next thing, and then you turn around and kick yourself because you missed a trade that came up when you weren't aware of it. So it keeps it. I have found this to be very helpful. So if that helps anybody else to put their little shopping list down for the day of what markets you want to trade and how many trades are you looking for in a perfect day, and then you can set about filling your shopping list. So I hope that helps somebody. On tomorrow we're going to have economic news at 8:15 and at 8:30. We've got a bunch of trade news, Canada and U.S. 8:15 is the ADP non-farm employment, and that may cause a jerk or two. 10 o'clock will be the PMI tomorrow, and then 10:30 we'll have crude oil inventory tomorrow. Keep in mind we've been losing on the rig count every week for quite a while, and so whether any of these rigs are going to start to come back online now that U.S. crude oil can be exported, I don't know, but that's something we'll watch and see what these crude oil inventories come up with tomorrow. But tomorrow at 10:30, be very cautious about getting into a crude oil trade right at the stroke of 10:30. And if you get in a couple of minutes before, you darn sure better be on the right side of whatever those numbers create. So the best thing to do is just stand aside, let them all go berserk for a couple of minutes, and then see what may pan out for you. If you are interested in trading spreads or binaries, please check the Apex News tab, because Daryl puts some great trades in that news tab that are built around news events, and they're very specific what time to put them on, and what to expect out of them. So you might want to take a look at that. Anyway, that's about all I see. Since crude oil has done nothing here for the last all morning, you can tell that it's doing nothing at a glance by checking your 30-minute. These little short candles are just sitting here going exactly nowhere. It's easier to trade crude oil, I believe, off a 6-tick when it looks like this. And I keep one up for that very purpose. When it looks like this, you can definitely get 15 and 20 tick trades, and sometimes 30 and 40 tick trades that are easier to see on a 6-tick. But using a 12-tick in this kind of stuff, I don't much like that. I don't like it as well, shall we say, as well as a 6-tick. But when it's like this in the morning, we could very well see a nice trend in the afternoon. So don't give up when the markets you like to trade are not giving you what you want. Come back later. Or find a different market. But all the indices tend to trade together. So if they're all misbehaving for you, just find something else to trade or come back later. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow morning. One other thing. We've had I've been watching the VIX, and right now it's trading 2078. It got up to 24 yesterday. So It's backed off a little bit, but it looks like it might be trying to, I don't know if it'll get up to 24 today, but you will, if you watch that, the expectation would be that it will move up and these indices can move down. So with that, this has been my view from my world in Apex land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll see you tomorrow morning.